I think we've often talked about, like, where do we want to live, you know, sort of that idea of, like, if anything ever happened, like, big, you know, some big disaster, where in the world do we want to be? In fact, before we built, we talked about that a lot, of what would happen in the world if some major disaster hit. And we kind of came back to, we want to be in Glen Arbor, guys.
Yeah. It's all good.
You know, just because it's the community here and everybody is willing to help out everyone else. You know, it's like my parents were up on the Miller Hill when, you know, a tree fell on a guy's car. EMTs weren't going to get there, and about every neighbor was out there with any tool they could find, cutting this guy out of his car, figuring out how to get him across the lake. It's sort of like, even though there's all this in our faces, none of us are experts, but we're going to find a way. And it's pretty amazing. You know, the Geetsons running into Traverse City and securing all the wares that everybody needs, lanterns, water jugs. I mean,
the amazing one to me is Matt and Katie Weeson and a crew getting the Crystal River open. You know, it's ready to paddle, and that was something that took cooperation with the National Park Service and other groups.
You're being recorded.
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
Other groups. Gary Hogaboom coming up from Grand Haven to help and worked till 2 o'clock last night, if you heard. And he worked all day getting the river open. And Jim Fonte. So they just got a crew of volunteers and employees that opened that river up. And I thought that might be months before that opened. And so a great sense of community.
Are you surprised at how far we were walking already on M22 heading south toward the Glen Lakes?
Shocked. I'm shocked. Because our first look at this storm, when we were stuck outside of Glen Arbor, was coming over Alligator Hill, and literally, like, hand over foot, over and under piles of trees. Like, just a wall of trees. I can't believe what they've been able to do in 2 days.
This half-a-mile swath, I want to count these trees on the way back, but I think it must be 200 to 500 trees that are across this road.
Right.
And this may be like the toughest section.
This or Dunn's Farm. This might be it.
This and Dunn's Farm are about the two worst. Yeah.
We were told that this would be done by tomorrow noon. They'd have this open.
Wow.
And here we are. We're to the spot they stopped. We're the deepest into it of any non-tree person. I know that the thing that's throwing me the most is the sense of loss of all our iconic, our beautiful trees, you know, are gone. And you know, that trees, they are something for us. They're almost like when you're starting to fall, it's that thing you reach for that stabilizes you. And these trees that have been in our environment and has been Glen Arbor. I mean, after all, Glen Arbor is under the trees, you know. And we've, in some ways, we've lost much of that arbor. So I want to start replanting trees, and maybe that's a great sign of resilience. Is starting tomorrow to find a couple trees and move them around to some key spots and plant.